Hey, welcome back to Chatting with Chet. I'm here today with Jim Walker, and Jim is the evangelist for Federal. Jim, great show here in D.C. today, man. Lots of speakers, lots of information. What'd you learn?
Chet, there was so much to learn. We had a conference where we barely had anybody from UiPath up. I learned today that the government is really committed to RPA. And for them to come out and speak and share their knowledge, their lessons learned with other government people suggests that the things that we've been seeing out of the White House with respect to, and encouraging the use of artificial intelligence and specifically RPA, even in the president's budget this year, when the president put up his budget, he mentioned the Navy 5 times, he mentioned RPA 7 times. So you saw that in action.
That's a pretty good stat.
It really is. I mean, now the Army is happy because they were listed more than the Navy, but nonetheless, I mean, it just says that RPA is not an idea. It's embraced by the government, by what we saw today and the policies we've seen over the last few months.
Yeah, so the interesting thing to me was the level of growth and the level of maturity. So you were here a year ago. You've seen this year worth of growth. You've seen where you are today. Talk to me a little bit about that growth, and then talk to me about where do you see it going in the next 12 months?
Yeah, so we have seen what I call toe in the water activities over the last year, where agencies, rightly so, even one of our speakers talked about wanting to be able to turn it off if it wasn't right, because the government is presented with opportunities for silver bullets that cost a lot of money all the time.
Sure.
Right? And now they're presented with RPA and it's working. And they're almost like, well, how did it work over there? Let's try it. And so I think this year we saw with GSA that they said they had 14 bots built in the last year. But in addition to learning about building bots, they learned to retrain their existing workforce. They learned that they had some security things that they had to work on, but that the bots would run securely. They learned that they could improve their capacity. It wasn't just a good idea. And so they learned over the last year, and we should start seeing, as the GSA CFO said today, he challenged everyone in the room to have 10 bots operating and to save $1 billion by the government.
That's billion with a B, right?
Billion with a B, yeah. And that's one agency's leader saying, let's do this. And there are 16 major cabinet agencies. If all of them saved $500 million, what kind of infrastructure changes could we do? What things could we fund that we couldn't fund before? Or what savings could we do on national debt? RPA has an ability to influence the spending of money.
That's fantastic. All right, Jim, great group here today. We're in 40 plus agencies, lots of speakers here today. Who was your favorite speaker?
So that's a great one. I mean, when I was first approached after our keynote this morning, somebody said, wow. And I said, all of our speakers are going to be at that level. But honestly, I was kind of pleased that our DASA-FIM, the Department of the Army, Secretary of the Army's Organization for Financial Information Management, they have a huge story of the things that they've been doing, and they finally came out and started telling others about it. And I was just glad to see them sharing what they've done.
I got to sit in on that one. It was amazing. Guys stood up there with no slides, few cue cards, but walked us through the journey that they've gone through, and that's the first time that they've come forward with that. So huge win there. I don't see you stopping, Jim. You're not really a stop kind of guy. So Federal's gotten to here. We've done a big show here. Give me the next 1 or 2 or 3 things that are coming down the pike.
Yeah, so we have, one of the things we had as a breakout this evening was state and local. If you look around at the vendor community, we're the only ones that are in all categories of government right now. And so we're really going to try to push this year on to increase that. State, local governments don't get to print money like the federal government.
Right.
So saving money to them is actually more important than others. And then from a purely marketing perspective, we're in 7 conferences this month coming up here in town or in the area. We've got a couple white papers coming out. My favorite one is RPA as a Band-Aid, because everybody's afraid of that.
Oh, I love that one, yeah.
And so it's going to be a good read. We've got two white papers that we are co-authoring with government employees, which is really special because it matters more that they say something about this.
Sure.
So all in all, it's going to be a busy May. Television shows coming out May 14th and in June 13th. And so we're going to ride the wave of this great, really wonderful conference today.
Wow.
Right into June.
That's great. So the exciting thing for me was it wasn't UiPath folks getting up there and talking about our stuff. It was true user level, the community at large, bringing the stories that they've done on their own. And that was what was so exciting to me. So thanks for having us out here. We'll love coming to DC and getting involved with you guys. Let us know how we can help you. And thank you for watching us here on Chatting with Chet. Jim, we'll We'll talk to you again.
Thanks, Chet.